Stars dreaming. They won it by 4 in the end.
American Anthem has taken off. American Anthem easily in the Woody Stevens.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by WinStar Farm. I'm Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo, and let's take a look at the field for Friday's Spa Baby race. It is the 5th at 5.5 furlongs on the turf, a maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies. Our sponsor, WinStar Farm, very well represented. The number 6 La Contessa by WinStar Stallion, Congrats. The number 9 Wild and Ready by WinStar Stallion, More Than Ready. And the 10 Real Tenor by WinStar Stallion and First Crop Stallion, Painter. It's a fun field of 10, Nicole. We'll begin down towards the inside with the number 1 Latrivo, a filly with prior racing experience. She's already started once on the dirt for Rick Violette.
Yeah, she finished third, beaten a little more than 6 lengths. A couple of fillies in here are actually coming out of this field, I believe. The debut race there was taken off the turf. Her connections clearly wanted her on the lawn. There's a couple of fillies in here where that's the case for, so I think that's interesting to note. She's by Yes It's True, who definitely adds some speed with outstanding sprinters like La Verdad and the Big Beast on his resume. He's more of a dirt sire. You get the turf on the bottom side. Her dam won on turf and synthetic. Her second dam's a multiple stakes winner. It's a good Phipps family. A lot of dirt sprinters like Dancing Spree, Furlow, but some others in that family are turf producers. So I think it's a little bit of an interesting family.
I agree. It's a really interesting pedigree throughout. While I share your skepticism of Yes It's True on the turf, he definitely infuses speed into the pedigree. And as you mentioned, there's plenty of turf on the bottom. This filly is a half-sister to one first-time turf winner already, and I would expect some speed down towards the inside. 10-1 on the morning line on the 1 Latrivo. Luis Saez has the mount. The number 2 Bridled Temper, one of 2 first-time starters in here for trainer Mark Cassie, and this horse has a strong European family.
Yeah, definitely. She's by Warfront, who's very popular internationally. He's got a lot of really nice juveniles, especially in Europe, with horses like Roly Poly on the track. This one out of a stakes place Sadler's Wells mare. A full sibling to Bridled Temper is Group 3 placed in France. The second dam is a Group 3 winner and multiple stakes producer. A lot of European class under the family. I like the Warfronts going just a touch longer, but this one is certainly capable.
I agree. Certainly to consider distance down the road. This is a $180,000 buyback as a yearling, but solid enough works for Cassie. Javier Castellano is enticed to ride. This horse is 6-1 on the morning line and looks like a solid contender. I'd watch the board for her to be sure. The 3 is Romantic Babe. This is a first-time starter by Girolamo, and the dam's a half to a pretty big name in a Breeders' Cup Mile winner in Singletary.
Yeah, I have to Singletary. It's the family of a Grade 1 winning turf sprinter. And next question, the dam's by Perfect Soul, certainly a turf type horse. This is another one where you've got the turfy pedigree on the bottom to balance out a sire who adds speed but is probably more of a dirt sire in Girolamo.
Trainer David Donk does very good work with turf performers, and Romantic Babe's workmate, Phone Funky Monkey, was a 2-year-old that made her debut, I believe, on Wednesday at Saratoga, and she ran okay. I think she was 3rd or 4th with a 58 Beyer speed figure. 30-1 on the morning line for Romantic Babe, certainly worth considering on the bottom of exotic wagers at the very least. The number 4 is Pocketbook, and this filly is arguably the horse to beat, 8-5 favorite on the morning line. We're going to take a look at Pocketbook's career debut sprinting on the lawn at Gulfstream Park. Now, Pocketbook showed big speed, as many of Wesley Ward-trained first-time starters do. You see her on the lead right now. She's the number 4, and you'll notice the horse floundering in 3rd. That's the horse that was battling with Pocketbook. Maybe that one took just enough starch out of Pocketbook to allow the Pletcher-trained Earth to nab this one on the wire. But it looked like a solid field. This filly showed speed and ability, and if she runs that race, she's going to be tough again.
Yeah, definitely. Second by only a neck to Earth, who's very well regarded. Earth by freshman sire Orb, who we've talked quite a bit about. This one, Pocketbook by Into Mischief, who is the leading juvenile sire last year. He's best known for his dirt runners like Golden Sense, but he does have some versatility. He's got a Grade 2 winner on turf and Conquest Enforcer. He's got Vijack, who has competed on all surfaces. More turf ability on the bottom, as the dam is a Grade 3 winner on turf, half to a turf stakes winner herself. A lot of things to like about Pocketbook.
I think it's also very interesting that trainer Ward also enters the 5 Girls Night, a horse with a similar profile as Pocketbook, a filly with a good amount of early speed. Do you think these two could possibly cancel each other out?
I don't know that they'd cancel each other out, just because I see a lot of class, I think, in Pocketbook. You know, and I have to imagine that that's been considered. I do think Pocketbook is going to get the better of her stablemate, but yeah, her stablemate's knocking on the door. She just doesn't want to seem to stick her nose in front there. She was 3rd on debut, 2nd in her 2 most recent outings, which again were both taken off the turf. She's shown speed each time. I think it's a really interesting matchup. And
again, those 2 races, as you noted, off the turf. It appears that Ward really wants to get Girls Night on the turf. And as we look at Girls Night's pedigree card, a $35,000 yearling. This sire, Dunkirk, okay with first-time turf runners, 10%. She's a half-sister to a Grade 2 stakes place 2-year-old. Do you see more dirt on the bottom of this female family?
I definitely do. You look at the family, and as you mentioned, she's a half to a dirt stakes performer. The best runners in the family include Fall Highweight winner What's Your Pleasure. There's a decent amount of class in the family, certainly fits with this field, but a lot of it is on dirt.
We do have a positive formulator fact for the number 5 Girls Night. Wesley Ward, over the past 3 years, with 2-year-olds moving from dirt to turf off a minor layoff in maiden special weights, he's won 1/3 of 15 starts with a $2.27 return on investment. The number 6 is La Contessa. This one is by WinStar Stallion. Congrats, a $200,000 yearling bought back for $105,000 as an April 2-year-old. There's some class and distance on the bottom of this pedigree. What do you think of La Contessa's prospects sprinting first time out?
Sprinting, I think there's a lot of speed here. Congrats is one of those AP Indy horses who can sire a sprinter. He's got the Grade 1 winning sprint fillies, Turbulent Descent, Have You Gone Away, Emma's Encore on his resume. Turbulent Descent, of course, was so good as a 2-year-old. Congrats, a very nice 2-year-old sire. A lot of class on the bottom. The Dams Have To, a Grade 1 winner and out of the box. It's the family of Fairgrounds Oaks winner Unlimited Budget, Gulfstream Park Handicap winner Tackleberry. I think La Contessa will like going further later in her career, but I do think that Congrats on top is going to give her some sprint ability. I just have questions because it is more of a dirt pedigree, I think. She's 5-1 on the morning line, which is something you don't see a lot with the Pletcher Firster, and Velasquez and Castellano are riding elsewhere.
I think it's a very good point, especially with Johnny V, who's been riding a lot of Todd Pletcher's live first-time starters. He's on Ward's sort of other horse in here, the 5 Girls Night. Jose Ortiz takes them out on the 6 La Contessa, but it's Todd, which means we have to have a positive formulator fact somewhere. Past 5 years, 2-year-old first-time starting turf sprinters in maiden special weights at the Spa, 30% and a $3.06 ROI. The number 7 is Tropical Wave, and I look at this pedigree and I think distance. I think this one down the road maybe for Rusty Arnold.
Very much so. I think this one's going to be at her best, going about a mile or a little longer. She's by Lemon Drop Kid, who's a very good turf sire, very good filly sire. Grade 1 winners like Somali Lemonade and Citronade on his resume. The dam was stakes placed on turf, and she's a full sister to A Shin Top, a multiple Group 2 winner in Japan, and a half to General Quarters, a multiple Grade 1 winner on turf and synthetic. All of those have done their best work at route distances, and I think this is one to circle and keep an eye on down the road.
I agree. The dam had a little bit of speed, but you mentioned Lemon Drop Kid, you mentioned General Quarters. Those are 2 major distance names in this pedigree. I'll take a wait-and-see approach for now with the 7 Tropical Wave. The number 8 is Serial, and we have to talk about this first-crop stallion, Animal Kingdom, first crop in North America. Very, very impressive racehorse. Obviously, didn't matter whether it was dirt, synth, or turf, and I'll be interested to see if 5.5 furlongs is really going to be right in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, that was kind of on paper. I definitely thought the Animal Kingdoms would do better longer. But, he had an early winner at Keeneland who came back to win a stake at Churchill in Sunny Skies. He's already got a winner at Saratoga. They are winning early. They have won at sprints. And, Animal Kingdom, you hit the nail on the head. It didn't seem to matter what he was running on. He's best known for winning the Derby, but I think one of his more impressive races was the Breeders' Cup Mile, shortening up a little when he was placed behind 2-time Horse of the Year Wise Dan, coming off a long layoff. I've really been looking forward to getting a look at more of his offspring, and This one's dam had some class as well, and juvenile ability underneath.
Yeah, the dam won 4 stakes races on the dirt, but was also Grade 3 stakes placed on the turf, and she has thrown a runner named Dewey Square, a debut winner at 2 that went on to be graded stakes place that year. So a lot of turf, a lot of class, and this horse should have bottom. She has been training regularly for Graham Motion since the middle of March. 8-1 on the morning line for Serial by Animal Kingdom. The number 9, Wild and Ready, is by WinStar Stallion More Than Ready. This is a $190,000 yearling out of a very versatile dam.
Yeah, the dam did win on turf, but as you mentioned, it did a lot of things. The turf ability you kind of double down on with More Than Ready, who's such a good turf sire, a top 20 juvenile sire, and I kind of think this trip might hit Wild and Ready between the eyes.
Marcassi trains this one. Julien Leperoux takes the mount, a half-sister to a turf winner, and as we mentioned, the dam, a multiple stakes winner on dirt, but also one on turf. The 10 Reelton Or is by Painter, from the first crop of the very courageous and talented Painter. He's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, but I think his horses, his progeny, are going to do best when allowed to stretch their legs around a little bit more distance.
Well, definitely. And I think they'll also do better with some experience. Painter really began coming to hand in the spring of his 3-year-old year. So he has gotten off to a slow start, but, you know, he got nice books of mares. They were well received. I really think that people believe in this horse and they're going to start developing a bit later. This one does come from a nice turf family. The second dam was a Grade 3 winner on turf. It's the family of Grade 3 winner around the Cape. And this one, I think, you know, might do better a little bit down the road as well.
Around the Cape was a decent sprinter. I believe he won the Jaipur sprinting on the turf. The dam won a couple of races on the lawn. But I'm with you. I think this one will improve when allowed to stretch out. Okay, let's talk about picks for race number 5 at Saratoga. We're kicking off the pick 6, and we obviously advise everybody to watch the board and look for some interesting tote action. I think Pocketbook is the horse to beat, but there's got to be some first-time starters maybe that offer a little bit of value.
Yeah, I do think Pocketbook is a formidable presence there. I like the debut race that she's coming out of. But you know what? The Graham Motion Filly Serial by Animal Kingdom, you know, the dam's from such a nice turf family. I think there's some juvenile ability in that family. I'm really interested in this horse, especially with all that bottom in her. I'm also taking a look at the 2 Cassie horses. I think that this distance, this trip on the turf might be just in Wild and Ready's wheelhouse. And I'm going to look at Bridled Temper underneath there, perhaps in some exotics. I think she's going to want to go longer, but there's too much class in that family to not take a hard look at.
I think we look at this race the same way. Pocketbook's going to be tough if she runs back to her career debut. Maybe I'll try to hook her up with the 2 Bridal Temper. We talked about that European turf pedigree. And maybe the 3 Romantic Babe at a good price. Her workmate ran okay the other day. David Donk, again, does good work with first-time starters. So maybe I'd be leaning 4-2-3 in our Spa Baby race for Friday, race number 5. Nicole and I will be back later this week for the weekend Spa Baby action presented by WinStar Farm.